Hello again, fourth grade math. This is your Thursday video, so this is the last review lesson for this week. We are still on page 513. We are skipping set D. These are not skills that we worked on. So we're skipping set D and going down to set E, okay? So set E is going to be reviewing improper fractions and mixed numbers. So remember, just real quick, improper fractions are those fractions that have a numerator that is larger than the denominator. So like 11/9 would be considered an improper fraction because it's kind of breaking the rules. It's not being proper by having a larger numerator than a denominator. Mixed numbers were just that. They were a mix of a whole number and then a fraction for whatever was left. So like 3 1/4 would be a mixed number. So what you're going to do in set E is practice converting improper fractions and mixed numbers from one to the other. So we did this a week ago. Last week's Thursday lesson involved this. So on set E, they're going to start with writing mixed numbers into improper fractions. So they're going to give you a mixed number. So I'm just going to make one up. Let's say I have 4 2/8. And they want us to turn this into an improper fraction, which would be equivalent. It's just the improper version of it. So remember, when they give us the mixed number, I compared this to kind of like a life cycle in science. We're going to do a little cycle, and we're going to start at our denominator. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to take that denominator and multiply it with the whole number. So 8 times 4 equals 32, okay? From 32, we're going to go to the numerator, and our operation will be to add. 32 plus 2 gives us 34, and then we just keep the same denominator that we had. So 4 2/8 equals 34/8. Okay, let's do another one. So let's say they give us the mixed number of 5 1/3. So start at your denominator. We're going to cycle over to the whole number and multiply. So 3 times 5 equals 15. Okay, so 3 times 5 is 15. From there, we go back to the numerator and we're going to add. 15 plus 1 gives us 16, and then just keep the same denominator. So 16/3 is equal to 5 1/3. Okay, one more. Let's say I had 2 3/9. Okay, start at your denominator, cycle over, multiply. 9 times 2 equals 18. From that 18, go over to your numerator and add. 18 plus 3 is 21. Keep the same denominator. There's your improper fraction. Okay? All right. So that is what you're going to do on set E for numbers 1 through 6. They give you a mixed number. You do the little cycle to turn it into the improper fraction. Now, when you get to numbers 7 through 12, they give you the improper fraction, and you have to make the mixed number. So remember, I'll do my first improper fraction. 11/9 can also be read as 11 divided by 9. We can think of that fraction bar as being a division sign. So read top to bottom. 11 divided by 9 would look like 11 divided by 9. Okay? So how many times can 9 go into 11 without going over? It can go in one time. Minus 9 gives us 2. Nothing left to bring down. So that becomes the remainder. So we take this to write our mixed number. So the first number is our whole. The remainder is our numerator, and then we just use the same denominator from the original problem. So 11/9 equals 1 2/9. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do 8 thirds. Okay, so reading top to bottom, 8 divided by 3. So 8 divided by 3. How many times can 3 go into 8? Can go in twice, which makes 6. We subtract 2, nothing left to bring down. Okay, so now we turn 2 remainder 2 into our mixed number. So this is our whole number. The remainder becomes our numerator, and then we just use the same denominator. So 8 thirds equals 2 and 2 thirds. Okay, let's do one more. Let's say they give us 15 over 4. Okay, so read top to bottom. 15 divided by 4 looks like 15 divided by 4. How many times can 4 go into 15? Can go in 3 times, which makes 12. Subtract 3. So turn that into your answer. So this becomes the whole number, remainder becomes the numerator, and then we use the same denominator from the problem. Okay, 3 3/4. All right, so that is all you're doing on numbers 1 through 12. The first 6, you're doing the cycles to turn mixed numbers into improper fractions. Then on 7 through 12, you're using your division skills. Remember from last week, those same steps I just demonstrated, if you just go back a few pages. So I'm going to go back. Here's that waffle page, right? So remember on page 509, these 2 boxes up here can be like your notes for those steps that I was just doing. So if you're still having a hard time remembering what to do, you can always turn back to 509. All right, so that's it. You're doing set E, numbers 1 through 12. All right, have fun.